Okay, we're live.
Hi, this is Elizabeth Ann Atkins and Catherine M. Greenspan, Two Sisters Writing and Publishing, and it's our weekly talk with two sisters, live on Facebook on the Two Sisters Writing and Publishing page. So this week we're going to be talking about some wonderful new opportunities for you as a writer to get published. You might have been dreaming about writing a book and feeling bewildered about how to get it published and what to do with it. So we devised this wonderful new platform for you to publish your 5,000 word story in an anthology of inspiring stories that are similar to yours on specific topics. So Catherine and I are really excited about this because she had the brilliant idea to start short story contests on our website, on Two Sisters Writing and Publishing. And she has compiled the winning short story contest um, stories into an anthology that became, you have it with you, don't you, Catherine? Okay,
Right
cool,
here.
cool. Yeah,
It's called Two Sisters Writing and Publishing first annual anthology featuring international writers.
it's
And it's
awesome. And
available in a paperback and also an ebook everywhere online.
it's got 21 writers from around the world.
Right, and
Mhm.
21 writers and 24 stories because one woman, one has three stories in it, and another writer has two stories in it. So,
Oh,
and right now we're in November, we're mid-November, so we have January through October winners who are going to go in our second annual, which is going to come out at the beginning of next year. And we have four more people out there right now who are going to be included because we have four short story contests open right now.
wow.
So the four short story contests, we have two with a November 30th deadline, and these are about dogs and cats. So these are 1,000 to 1,200 word stories. And the topic of the first one for November is dog park chit chat. So anybody who's ever been to a dog park with another person who has a dog has participated in dog park chit chat.
It's really amazing the people you meet at the dog park. Remember when we were in Sedona in April and we were in the dog park and I mean, it's like this bond and it like breaks down barriers and you just start talking like you've known these people forever and they're from all over the world and they're telling
Right.
us their dog stories, but they're telling us their life stories at the same time. So I'm
Yes.
really excited to read these entries about dog
Me
park chit
too.
chat.
I have to say the funniest thing about encountering people in dog parks is very often people wear a t-shirt with some announcement of their dog breed on it. I mean, it's really and I always laugh when I see those bumper stickers that say my Lhasa Apso is smarter than your honor student.
Oh my
People
God.
take their dogs so seriously. I love it. This is
They
going to be
do.
really fun, really
Yeah,
fun.
it is.
And then the second contest that's open this month is about cats, and this one is the Cat Sitters Chronicles. So, as with all of our contests, we just sort of give a theme, but if someone wanted to write like a magical realism story from the perspective of the cat, we had another cat contest earlier this year, and it was called I've Just Become a Cat. So all the stories were written from the perspective of someone who has just become a cat. And there's a really great short story on our website by the winner of that contest, Deb Jannerson, and it was about the cat and the human switching roles and how scared the cat was for the human going out into the world. It's really cute. So that's the
Aw,
Cat Sitter Chronicles. Yeah.
I love
And then
it.
so the deadline for Dog Park Chit Chat and the Cat Sitters Chronicles is November 30th. Again, 1,000 to 1,200 words. Each winner gets a $75 prize and gets their story put on our website and gets to be in our second annual anthology. So that's exciting. And then our 2 December contests, which have a deadline of December 31st. And all this information, by the way, is on twosisterswriting.com. But the December contests are, one is a mystery or a whodunit, so have fun with that. And I was thinking about the game Clue when I came up with that, like the butler did it with the candlestick in the conservatory or something like that. So just have fun with it.
You have such great ideas.
Oh, thanks. The other one for December is the wedding dress under the bed. So again, this is just like, what in the world is the wedding dress doing under the bed? I mean, I've been trying to like blast out tweets about to encourage people to get creative. Like, the story could be told from the point of view of the wedding dress. The story could be about a wedding dress that was never worn or that was purchased and worn several times. Who knows? But I just want people to have fun with these topics.
I love it. Those are awesome topics. You come up with great stuff.
Thanks. And again, 2 winners, a winner for each story, and each winner gets $75 in cash via PayPal. So that's pretty cool.
And people can enter the contests on submittable.com, correct?
Right. But if you go to Two Sisters, TWO, sisterswriting.com, there are links that just take you directly to the submittable page where our contests are. And
Okay.
that's also where the links for the anthologies are.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very cool. So the difference between the contest and the contests and the anthology are vast. The contest short stories are what, 1,000-word submissions? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And the
1,000 to
anthology
1,200.
submissions, okay. And the anthology submissions are 5,000 words, and that people pay to have their story published. Sorry about my electronics are exploding. People pay to have their story in one of the anthologies, and we're working with our graphic designer to make really beautiful covers that showcase the topic. So, Catherine, let's share some of the topics of the anthologies that people can enter their stories in or start working on their stories. One of them is inspiring stories about weight loss success, inspiring stories about adoption, inspiring stories of first responders who have amazing stories of saving people's lives and witnessing people at their worst and best. Inspiring stories of soldiers who might be veterans who survived the battlefield and now are coping with civilian life and injuries, etc., and have really amazing hero stories to share. Inspiring stories of teachers. Teachers are some of the biggest blessings we have in life because they guide us and teach us and inspire us, and they have incredible stories. So with all of these, you don't have to be a teacher to write the story. You could be a parent reflecting on your kid's teacher. You could be a grown-up kid reflecting on your teacher who encouraged you to go to law school and now you're a judge. It could be anything. So just be creative and let your heart sing through your words. What are some of the other topics, Catherine?
So we have inspiring stories on cancer survival, inspiring stories of insight from spiritual healers and hypnotherapists. Everything okay? Yeah. Inspiring stories of spiritual awakening.
Yes.
Inspiring
Okay,
stories. Go ahead.
I just love that topic because I've been working on my memoir and it's all about that, and my spiritual memoir, which is coming out in January. And so lots of people have stories of spiritual awakening where suddenly they have one certain lifestyle and somehow they decide their heart just opens up to spirit and they connect with the divine and it changes everything. And so we want to showcase stories like that because oftentimes those create a tremendous shift in someone's life. They might leave a job, end a relationship, move to another city, change careers, go back to school. And I think that in showcasing these stories of spiritual awakening, it will empower others to have the courage to make a huge change that's inspired by their spiritual awakening to be of service on a spiritual level to society, which we need more than ever. So that's a huge, huge, um, so excited about that one. Thanks, Catherine.
Near-death experiences, so inspirational stories of near-death experiences. Inspirational stories on recovery from addiction. Inspirational stories on romance, weddings, and marriage. Inspirational stories on LGBT. Let's see, inspirational stories on the topic of immigrants. So do you want to explain that one a little bit, Elizabeth?
Yes, I mean, the immigrant story is the American story oftentimes, and people might be first generation immigrants, they might be second, they might have grandparents who came, or people before that, but they carry on the traditions of their culture, of their homeland, and it's a celebration of the beautiful melting pot that America is what gives us our society its flavor. And to celebrate those stories is really, really affirming to what America is all about. And so we want to showcase the beautiful stories of resilience and coming here with 5 cents in your pocket and creating a business empire for your family, or just above all odds, not speaking the language, having nothing to your name but your dreams and making something of it here through hard work. So we want to be able to show others that it's possible. So many of our topics were inspired by our observations and our values. Um, when we did our short story contests, we had so many LGBT entries. We decided that maybe we'll do an anthology sometime of LGBT stories. Those were short stories according to the themes that Catherine described, but in creating anthologies, we want to provide a place for people in the LGBT community to tell their coming out stories or share how they are living their truth boldly and bravely in society that's not always accepting and celebratory of that, or how they've overcome obstacles or how they've coped with family rejection or other situations. So again, those stories can serve as examples to others to teach that when you live your truth and have the courage, you can find your ultimate inner peace. And so we strive to do that with all the story anthology, inspiring stories that we're showcasing in our anthologies.
And we have 3 more topics for the anthologies. One is inspiring stories of organ transplant, and then inspiring stories on motherhood, and then also on fatherhood. So those are 2 separate ones. And each
Beautiful.
Anthology will be about 8 to 10 stories. And as Elizabeth said, the stories, target length for the stories is 5,000 words, which is about 20 pages. And then the authors, as in our short story anthologies, the author of the story maintains the copyright. Yeah, and anybody can submit. I mean, if you had a story that fit all 15 of these topics, you could submit. You're not limited by, you're not limited.
So the way
And
this
these are
works
all
is,
unpublished. They're unpublished. These are not previously published stories.
and
Yeah.
not submitted anywhere where they could suddenly get published, right, Catherine?
Right, right.
Okay. So secondly, the way this works is you can go to twosisterswriting.com and we have a blog post about it. And where else is it, Catherine?
Well, it's on twosisterswriting.com. It's the main page, so
Uh-huh.
you'll see it's called submissions. That's where you go at twosisterswriting.com. And then
Mhm.
there are links to other, like our call for submissions, and then the like for the contest, our short story contest rules. It's all there, and the highlighted blue text is a hyperlink to more information. So, but all you need to remember right now is twosisterswriting.com, TWO.
Yes. And so when that information can guide you to a page where you can pay a small fee for us to review your story and make sure it's of the caliber that is worthy of being published. Don't let that scare you, because we can also help you with ghostwriting, rewriting, editing, and things like that, because that's what we do. So all that's there. You might have the rough draft of your story and need it to be polished up into you might have a diamond in the rough and you might need us to polish it up to make it sparkle, and we can do that. So this is your big opportunity to publish your story in a way that you just hand it over to us and then you get a book. Because if you try to venture into self-publishing and all the different um, minutia that are required in that, it's very overwhelming, very stressful, difficult, and we are like a one-stop shop with our publishing company where we handle everything from the beginning to the end, from the raw manuscript and pictures to publication and distribution. So the anthologies will be available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com, as well as 39,000 online retailers around the world. And it's print on demand. So if someone orders one book or 5,000 books, they can be manufactured, printed, and shipped to whoever ordered them. It's really an efficient, wonderful process. Hi.
Hi.
Okay.
So
Um,
speaking of publishing, we have an announcement right now about a new book that is literally in the process of being uploaded to Amazon right now. In fact, the Kindle version of the book is already showing up on Amazon, and so it's just a matter of time. Hopefully, it could happen tonight, it could happen tomorrow. But Elizabeth, do you want to talk about Power Journal?
Yes. Okay. Power Journal. As you can see, here's the logo for it. During my spiritual awakening, I developed this process of pairing journaling with meditation and something called intuitive writing, where you get into a meditative state that connects you with your spirit self, your higher self, God, whatever your belief system is, your inner voice. It connects you with your truth on the inside. And so Power Journal is the process that I created to use meditation with journaling and this intuitive writing process where you're able to access your truth, your highest self, and write from that. And the beauty of it is that because if you use the term ego, you disconnect from the ego and hear your divine truth from the inside, your inner voice that's speaking your truth, unobstructed by all of the fear, worry, doubt, worry about criticism. What are they going to think if I write this? You bypass that in this process so you can get to your truth. And when you write from that point, it's pure magic because it's powerful. It's not scared. It's like you're unleashing your inner power. It's very simple, and that's why I'm teaching it. We're teaching it to show people how to get into this relaxed space, relaxed state, and write from there. So to start teaching this Power Journal process, which I've done at in-person venues around the town where I live, to start it, and also at our retreat, I was able to do a Power Journal presentation. It was amazing. Um, we created a workbook that's called the Power Journal 28-Day Challenge. And it takes the core questions of self-discovery over 4 weeks. And each day you have a daily question that you need to write about and answer. And what it does is help you figure out, who am I? What do I want? Am I ready for change? And what action do I need to take to make that change? So I first heard those questions. I heard, who am I and what do I want, at a conference with George Fraser, Power Networking. Um, and I've heard Oprah ask these questions in video. So they're common questions. But the first time I heard it was at this Power Networking conference. And I sat there listening, thinking, I don't know the answer. I know when I say, who am I went to such and such schools. I live here. This is what I do. And I didn't know the answer of, who am I really? And then what do I want? And it's not wanting stuff. It's not wanting, prestige. It's, what do I want for my highest self? And I still didn't know the answer. Besides, of course, health and family and love. Those are very important things. But beyond that, I didn't know. And so I meditated on it. I prayed on it. I wrote about it a lot and figured it out. And so now I'm teaching it. And Power Journal asks you, who am I and what do I want, to begin? And in the course of this, you're going to discover things about yourself and look inside yourself. Not, what does my family want for me? What does my career say I should want as the pinnacle of the career? What do I truly want? It's a profound experience when you finally figure it out. And getting into that wonderful meditative state enables you to connect with that truth. Again, uninhibited by fear. Oh no, I can't do that. That's too much. None of that. It's just gone. And from that place of power within, you can recreate yourself and your life. So the Power Journal Workbook is a tool that you can use every day for 28 days to dive deep inside yourself and figure things out. It's pure magic. It's pure transformation once you find these answers. The challenge can be implementing them, because you might have to make major changes in your life, leave a particular job, a relationship, change your body, have some new habits. But I'm here to testify that it's possible, because I had such a terrible struggle with food and fat for most of my life. And through the power of my divine spiritual awakening, I have changed significantly, like transformed my lifestyle. And so you can do it too. And I've done it in my thinking patterns, and it's just like this awakening that you can have through writing that will transform you on every level. You have to do the work, but so Catherine, it's available in ebook format on Amazon.com. And when is
Right.
the workbook, the physical workbook, going to be available?
It's going to be for sale on November 28th. November
Okay.
28th. But
Mhm.
it's really cool, because that we also have the 28-day Power Journal challenge online. Do
Yes,
you
the
want to talk
Power
about
Journal.
that?
Yeah, thank you for that reminder. We have the powerjournal.life website, powerjournal.life website, where you can go and take the challenge online. And we have all the questions formatted so that you can do it electronically. You never have to touch paper. You can even, do the exercises on your laptop or your desktop. And so that's super easy if you prefer to do it digitally. It's just as effective. And then we also have videos that teach you how to meditate. It's super simple. People make meditation sound so complicated, but it's not. It's really about getting still and silent, turning off the devices, disconnect just for a brief time from all the external stimulation of our world, which is overwhelming. It's noisy, it can be scary, it can be just totally nonstop from the moment you wake up and pick up your phone and hear and see things. So meditation enables you to pull away from that and find peace within, even if you just sit for 5 minutes by yourself and close your eyes. And if you pray, pray. If you just meditate on what would be the best day for you that day, meditate on your physical being, how you feel, what you can do to feel better. Um, give yourself a pep talk. So anyway, meditation is just a wonderfully powerful practice that you can do every single day by sitting quietly with yourself. You won't be interrupted, ringing, dinging, chinging to distract you, and just concentrate on you. It's not selfish. It makes you better, and that way you can be better for you first, and you can be better for others second. Your family, your relationships, your colleagues, your business, your neighbors, everybody. So
when
November
you do,
28th.
yes, for the workbook, but right now PowerJournal.life is up and available. And so when you do Power Journal, you meditate on the question. Each day in the 28-day challenge has a question on the themes that Elizabeth mentioned. Who am I? What do I want? And so on. But that's what you meditate on. And again, there are instructions. But the PowerJournal.life does have a fee, but I'm going to post after this below the coupon code to have a 50% discount. It's
Awesome.
28-day thanks NOV18. So 28-day thanks no NOV18. So I'll post that below.
Awesome.
There's also a PowerJournal.life Facebook community. So that's another perk that you get. But it's really exciting, the whole publishing process, because this is what the Power Journal book looked like. It is just pieces of paper with the Power Journal printout, and it's going to be a physical book that will be for sale 39,000 retailers. That's just crazy to think that I've got these printouts and that in a matter of days, the 28th, it's going to be available around the world.
Oh my gosh, that's 14. Anyway, listen, Catherine just said from paper to published, right? I've been doing this process for many years. So to take it out of my head and to bring it out, we had to write out the whole thing. What is it? How does it work? What do you do? So from a concept in my head to a physical book, that's the power of publishing, and it's so exciting. You are creating something that can last forever.
And giving it to the world.
Yes, to help people.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. Oh my gosh,
It is
cool. Yeah.
I love the video of you and Lynde at her book party in July when her book first came out, when you said, and she had her book in her hands, and you said, how do you feel? And she said, I'm overwhelmed. This is so, it's amazing. And she said, I've got all these little bruises because I keep pinching myself to see if this is real. But right. It really is amazing to go from something in your head to something on paper to something physical that people all around the world. Last week when we talked about one of the publishing options of printing up 10,000 copies of your book and then having to wonder how these are going to get out into the world, you don't have to worry because the book is disseminated electronically to the world. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's like, so
yeah.
Keep that in mind when you contribute to one of our anthologies, for example. that whole thing would happen. Your idea, your word, going all around the world to influence people in a positive way. That's amazing.
Yes.
It's so fulfilling,
Yes.
and it
Yes.
gives your life more meaning, and it can last forever. It can be part of your
Yeah.
legacy. So
So
speaking of
another cool
legacy,
thing, go ahead. Let's talk about legacies.
okay, our parents have an amazing legacy. They defied the church in the 60s. They defied conventions of race during the civil rights movement, and they were in love and they got married. Daddy was 44 years old. Our mother was 19. And then we came along, and it was during the civil rights movement. And they were banished to hell by the bishop because priests are supposed to maintain their vow to Mother Church for life. And he wanted and he wanted a family, so he left the church and married our mother and had us, and we were all raised wholesomely and with lots and lots of love and encouragement to excel in academics, and we did that. And up there, meanwhile, our mother, when we were in elementary school, started law school at night while she worked full time in an office, and our father worked full time as well. And then then she became a judge. Unfortunately, our father died before he got to see her become a judge, but he was the wind beneath her wings because he was Mr. Mom for us. He would cook dinner, take us to piano lessons, ski lessons, make sure we got to bed, praying, or we said the Lord's Prayer before bed every night. We lived in a very Jewish neighborhood, and so we had lots of friends who were Jewish, Chaldean people who had come fleeing persecution in Iraq. We had Russian immigrant neighbors. We lived in a really diverse community. It was beautiful and we loved it. Um, so our mother wrote her life story. And we thought we knew the story, but the abuse that she described by her adoptive mother was horrific. But she waited till her mother died before she shared that story. So, legacy. Your memoir is your legacy. It's the official recording in your words. Other people are going to tell your story. And yes, we wrote Let the Future Begin by Dennis Archer, the former Detroit mayor and former president of the American Bar Association, which has 400,000 members across the United States and America and the world. So, Mayor Archer, Let the Future Begin. Yes?
I was going to say he's also a former justice from the Michigan Supreme Court.
Yes. So his book tells his legacy. It preserves it. He said he was inspired to tell his story for his grandsons so that they will know his truth that the media has told, but he's telling it in his words, his mark on the world. And when he used the campaign slogan, Let the Future Begin, when he was campaigning in 1993, and that slogan was created by David Axelrod, who I interviewed for the book. He truly got to work for 8 years and laid the foundation that now has made Detroit the comeback city of the millennium, because business is booming. There's new restaurants. There's droves of people on the streets who've moved here from all over the country. It's really amazing. It's almost like you go down the street and say, where am I? Because Detroit used to be a ghost town. It was terrible. And now it's vibrant, it's chic, it's fun, it's exciting, it's beautiful. And Mayor Archer laid the foundation for that to occur with our new stadiums, our new casinos, new development downtown, new buildings, Campus Martius Park, which is like the city center gathering place. It's amazing. The point is that he told his story his way in the book. And now people all over the world are reading his story. In fact, we got emails from Japan when his book first came out saying it was for sale there, and in many other countries too. now he's also serving on the transition team for our new Democratic governor, Gretchen Whitmer, the state's youngest governor. She's only 47. And that's really exciting because now he's adding all of his expertise and wisdom and experience to help guide our state into a better place. So, your legacy is the your book is the place where you can preserve your legacy for generations to come. And even if you never publish the book and just give it to your family, um, that's very, very important because the oral histories are going to die when you die. So you should write them down. Even if you just write in a little notebook and tell your stories. And these days, everybody has a record function on their phone. You literally can just sit and tell your stories, but just tell your stories, preserve them. You don't have to be the mayor. You have a story, it's yours. Tell it, share it, preserve it.
So, and on another note regarding your book, Elizabeth, you wrote a blog post last year about going with your book, Dark Secret, to the Bookies Book Club. And you
Yeah.
had a fun conversation. And then last week, you went with our mother to Bookies and Catching Sense Book Club.
Uh-huh.
So what is it? Tell us about book clubs. What is it that's so fun about them?
So when I first got published and started being invited to book clubs, I had no idea what that experience would be, but it was one of the best things about being an author is being invited to people's homes or into restaurants to talk about your book. And then they're all sitting there talking about your characters or the people in your real life story, like they know them because they feel like they do because they just read intimate things about them. And it's so affirming, and you get to hear their feedback. If they didn't like something, you can file that away for your next book. Or if they did like something, you can just try to replicate that again. And then the camaraderie of book clubs, many of which have been, these women have been together for decades. And so to be in that mix of their love and celebration is really exciting. So when our mother had her first book club experience last week with The Triumph of Rosemary, we were at this lovely restaurant, and there were 16 women there, and we had delicious food. We were in a private room. She got to talk. They asked her questions. They said they loved the romance of her book. They loved her courage of telling that story. They loved the chronology and the way it just flowed as if she was talking directly to them, because that's how she wrote her own book. We didn't write it. She wrote her own book and it just flows like a conversation. And it literally poured out of her from December of 2016 to May or March of
April.
April. No, April of 2017. She just wrote. Like that's all she wanted to do. She'd wake up at 4 in the morning and start writing because she was ready to tell her story. And people had been telling her for years to write a book, but she just wasn't ready. Like she'd start, nothing would happen. But then when you're ready to tell your story, bam, get ready because it just pours out. And you have to be obedient to it and just tell it. So she did that, and then we published it. So it's very unique. We don't know of any other mother published by her two daughters who also published their own books. It's really a unique thing, mother and two daughters writing and publishing. so, so anyway, Rosemary, The Triumph of Rosemary, her memoir is an excellent book club book because it's about family. It's about a woman having tremendous courage and independence and determination. It's another story that shows someone succeeding against the odds, so it's very inspiring. It's fun to read. There was one lady there, she said she hadn't finished several of the books that the book club was reading because it just takes a lot to keep her attention. And she said she read The Triumph of Rosemary cover to cover and didn't want it to end. So that was an affirmation. But yeah, book clubs are really, really amazing. In fact, when I wrote my first novel, my friend Ormandy Singleton read it, and she liked it so much that she invited her group of friends over with me to, they read the book, and then we all talked about it. And she started cover to cover book club as a result, and they all read all my books, and we'd have the most spirited meetings. We'd have Christmas parties together. It was a beautiful experience. Yeah, book clubs rock. Wow. So then we also want to share that Catherine's young adult novels, the Veronica series, are available, and they really make an excellent holiday gift for a girl who's what, like 14, 12?
Yes. I'd say 10 to 14.
10 to 14-year-old girls. And the letters that Catherine has gotten from girls who've read her book, girls of all different backgrounds, they just love them. They really identify with Veronica and her challenges of navigating a world that's obsessed with things that she doesn't think should matter so much, like race and who's your family. And she's just trying to go to school, get good grades, have fun with her friends, and like boys.
So all three books, usually the first two books are $8.99. The third book is $11.99, but for some reason Amazon has put them on sale and you can get all three of them for $12, which is just crazy, but I say run with it. But you know what I think would be the coolest thing, since the book one is called Veronica, I Heard Your Mom's Black, is if Meghan Markle and Prince Harry name their daughter, if they have a daughter, Veronica, because then
Oh my
Veronica,
gosh.
I heard your mom's black, and your mom is,
Oh my gosh.
and then
That's
Veronica would be
awesome.
in line for the throne. That's my wish. That's my royal wish.
I love it.
Because Veronica is going to be biracial, just like the Veronica in the books. So
Right.
it's, Veronica, I heard your mom's black.
I
So
love it. Okay.
yeah.
Excellent. I
So the
love
other
it.
thing I saw on Amazon, that the hardcover of Dennis Archer's book is actually $8. Amazon Prime, $8. So there's no rhyme or reason to why Amazon discounts books, but it's a bona fide copy of the real thing, and it's only $8, normally $29.99. So if you wanted to get somebody that for um, a holiday present, now would be the time, because that's more than 2/3 off.
Um, that's great. And GoodReads. We have a promotion going on GoodReads, right?
Yes, so our GoodReads giveaways are going to start later this week, but almost on almost all of our books, we're going to be doing a GoodReads giveaway, and that means that when you go on GoodReads and set up a profile, you can go to their giveaways page, and books that look interesting to you, you can just click enter giveaway, and then what happens is it gets put on your want to read list, and then if you can see how many people have entered, and so it's possible that you could get a free copy. We did a GoodReads giveaway in August for the Triumph of Rosemary, where it was giving away 5 copies of the books, and I think like 600 people joined the giveaway. So then 5 people got autographed copies from our mother, which was really cool. So
Awesome.
we'll be announcing those on our Two Sisters page when all of those go live. But will include the Triumph of Rosemary, the Veronica books, Dark Secret, Steve Bullock's book, My Name is Steve Delano Bullock, How I Changed the World and the World Around Me Through Leadership, Caring, and Perseverance. This will be one. And then Herman Williams, MD, Clear, Living the Life You Didn't Dream of. This will be one. We will also have one for our anthology as well.
Exciting. So
And
for people
and Lynn Day's book, Remembering and
oh,
Forgetting a Spiritual Journey as well. Yeah.
I love it. So for people who aren't familiar with Goodreads, what is it?
Goodreads is a website. It's like a social interaction platform that's all about books. It's like Facebook if the only conversation were about books. So
Oh,
I think there are like 45 million people. I could be wrong. It could be way more or way less, but I know it's in the millions of people who are on Goodreads. And so what you do, you set up a profile and then as you're reading a book, you say, "This is what I'm reading." And then when you're done with it, you can say that you've finished, and then you can write a review. Like I just finished a book that I just randomly found. It was called The Chocolate Money by Ashley Prentice Norton, I think is her last name. This book came out in 2012. I just randomly found it at the library and it was incredible. I loved it. So I posted that I was reading it and then I reviewed it, just a really quick review. And the cool thing about Goodreads is you can be friends with people on Goodreads and you can see what they're reading and what they're reviewing. So you can really be interactive on Goodreads and say, if you have friends who read good books and you're always looking for recommendations, you can see what they're reading and what they're saying about those books. It's really cool.
that's
Goodreads.com.
awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
goodreads.com.
Yeah.
So here's another cool thing. Catherine and I went to Okemos High School in Michigan, which is near the state capital of Lansing. And we moved there because our mother got a job, her first lawyer job with the legislature. And our parents always chose where we would live based on where the best public school district was, and the Okemos Public School District was like one of the top districts in the state. And we both got an excellent education there and were able to go to University of Michigan as a result. And we didn't apply anywhere else except Michigan, which in this day and age is unheard of. So, but anyway, we went to Okemos High School, and we've gone back a couple times to speak at the school. First, Catherine and I spoke in an English class, a writing class, and then we went back with our mother, and all three of us spoke. And then we had a book signing at Schuler's bookstore at Meridian Mall. So we just learned this recently that Catherine and I were inducted into the Okemos High School Hall of Fame. And we want to send a big shout out to Rod Ellis, who's extremely active with the Okemos Alumni Association. He's doing
He
amazing
is the
things.
Okemos Alumni Association.
Okay.
He was in the Okemos class of 1965. He's amazing. He's like one
Uh-huh.
of those people who puts people together and just out of the joy that it brings him. He's amazing.
Yeah. So, so we're immensely grateful to Rod Ellis for inducting us into the Okemos High School Hall of Fame as two sisters writing and publishing. I mean, we had some really formative times in the Okemos School District with our writing. We had creative writing classes, we had English classes, we had, um, just the education that we got there laid a foundation for us to do what we do now. Made us masters of grammar and English and writing and allowing our creativity to flow. And it was so cool when we had our book signing at Schuler's bookstore. Some of our teachers came, our French teacher, Kate Marsh, um, our creative writing teacher, Mrs. Tanner, my 10th grade English teacher, Mrs. Hammerly. I mean, that was the coolest thing. And the
It was
people at the
very cool.
bookstore even were amazed that, oh my gosh, after all these years, your teachers came to your book signing and how proud they
That's why
were.
we're that's why we're doing an inspirational anthology on teachers because they're so amazing and they touch our lives in such incredible lifelong ways.
They do. Like I can remember specific things that my teachers said to me. And I said them back to them. They don't remember, but they impacted me profoundly.
Right.
So, yeah. So, Catherine, we have lots of topics here. Have we covered everything?
We have.
Mhm. One thing that is really cool that's happening is that when you write a book, you get invited to speak at different places. So recently, former Detroit Mayor Dennis Archer spoke at Harvard. Um, Herman Williams, another of our authors, spoke at Harvard as well in the School of Public Health. And our mother has been invited to speak many places. She spoke at her alma mater, Saginaw Valley State University, which she attended when we were just toddlers to go back to college and finish her education, which enabled her to ultimately become a judge. And as a result, she spoke at their commencement in May, and she spoke at an NAACP banquet that was phenomenal in a few months ago. And then she and I went back recently and went to their alumni dinner, which she received their recognition as Outstanding Alumni Achievement in 1981. But anyway, it's super exciting when you publish a book and it's so well received that you're invited to come and speak about it. Now, sometimes people do get even paid to speak with their book, which is another benefit. But all the people in the room who say they feel inspired by what you said, or you offered some nugget of wisdom that can help them be better and do better, um, that's priceless. So Catherine and I are always encouraging people, you, to write your story because you can touch someone's life. You might even save someone's life.
Right. So we just have lots to next week when we check in on Wednesday with our our two sisters
Weekly talk with two
weekly talk
sisters.
with two sisters. We'll talk about the projects that we're going to be wrapping up by the end of the year, and that is what we'll talk about next week. But meanwhile, go to twosisterswriting.com and check out our submissions page for our contests and also for our inspirational anthologies, which we're calling for submissions now, but those will be published in 2019.
Yes. We also have a blog there called A Tale of Two Sisters. You know, like the story A Tale of Two Cities. It's a tale of two sisters. And we blog about wellness and writing mostly. And we did a bunch of blog posts inspired by our recent business retreat in Sedona, Arizona with our business coach, Lisa Peterson, and entrepreneurs from across the country and world. And so just if you want to read something inspiring, please check out our blog, A Tale of Two Sisters, which is at twosisterswriting.com. So have a great week. Keep writing. Find the courage to write your heart out, tell your story, submit to our anthologies, enter our short story contests, and just celebrate. Oh, take our Power Journal Challenge, dive deep in yourself and learn about yourself and how to make the rest of your life the best of your life. Writing is a magical gift, so you should use it. It's free. And it'll change your life. Thanks for joining us.
Thank
We'll see you
you.
next week. Bye.
Bye.